Alright, today we have a simulator battle from the tiny guy seeing, he said, let me double check this real fast. He said that it was an absolutely horrible match. He joined halfway through and left 15 minutes after. Uh, he said that he mainly wanted me to look at where the sparrows were coming from and how he should dodge them. So what we'll be looking in for this is mostly your RWR. I've already looked through the video once before. I kind of know what's happening, but let's go ahead and get into it. So the tiny guys bring out the Mig-23ML. That's going to be at, I believe, 11.7. Maybe, let's just double check here. 11.7, yeah. It's got a pretty good radar. It's got some pretty good missiles. We brought out the R-24Rs with them. Those are radar missiles. And then, of course, 4 R-60Ms. Very good. Well, we're just gonna take a moment to look at all these decals he has. Nice plane. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Mig-23 is a beautiful aircraft. Alright, so first things first, since we're in simulator, we're going to be mostly watching in the cockpit. It might be a little bit weird. The camera might be a little bit weird. From the first time I watched this replay, it was a little bit weird. But it shouldn't be that bad. So, we got a basic search radar. It's honestly much better than you would think it would be. So, 30 kilometers, we're going to be seeing him using this a lot to spot targets, which is pretty normal. You've got the radar, you might as well use it. So right off the bat, you can see we've got some allies over here in the A point, capturing it. We're going to take off. You're going to head somewhere over here. You can see this base is being bombed, this base is being bombed. We don't know exactly if there's people bombing right now, but it's if these bases are being bombed, there might be people just keep feeding right into it. Maybe from here, feeding. There's going to be aircraft up here, probably in the higher altitudes bombing those bases. So those are always some good areas to go for to defend those bases. They'll give you some good kills. Usually those targets that are bombing the bases aren't really paying attention all that well, so they're pretty easy kills. Alright, let's see. It's looking like he's looking at a target right now. I'm going to try not to use the sensor view too much, but I'll show you what I'm looking at when I put it on. So he's coming in on this target. We'll speed this up a little bit. Can't quite get a lock on it, and he's lost visual. So he's looking around, looking for a new place to go. He's about halfway into the map right now. We got all of his, everything. So we can check his speed and slow down a little bit. Getting some pings right there. Got some tracks on it. So when you're in the Mig-23, you don't have a launch warning. You only have the track. So when you see that, you have to immediately start thinking, is this going to be a missile, or am I going to be fine? Now, since we are going against America, those guys love just lobbing missiles out. They see a target. If it's in your missile range, launch it. Go as fast as you can. It's hilarious to see how many missiles American planes will fire off. So, right here, he's being tracked. It's from kind of, I believe it was from the front left. Let me go into the free cam mode just to see exactly where this is coming from. Oh, it could be from behind, and it is from the left side. It's looking like it's from that F4S over there. Yes, from that F4S right over there. So, because the Mig-23 has a quartered RWR, you're not really going to be able to tell entirely where the target's coming from. That could be from anywhere right here all the way over to here. So as you can see, it's right there. So it correlates, you know? So what you can do to make it a little bit better, make it a little bit easier to see where they're at, start turning towards that left side until you see it go into this quarter. Then you know it's more into the front there. So just a little thing to help you out with the quartered RWR, finding targets that are tracking you. But of course, remember, we are going against America. So he's probably going to launch a missile at you at any time here. He is 25 clicks out, so he might not. He's starting to trap. Not a bad idea, but you don't know if they're completely notched. Like right here, he's not completely at that 90-degree angle. It's a little bit too out in front for it to be completely notched for him to lose the radar lock. So we'll keep going here. Got this guy tracked. He's got another RWR signal now. So when you have two like this, it's gonna be much harder to know what's gonna be happening. You're starting to lose your awareness of the battle. This is when I would start to peel off, start to run back. You're faster than these American planes. You're faster than their missiles. You can run away. You need to obey your RWR. Listen to it. It's there to be a tool to help you out. So we'll keep going here. Going back into the first person view. He sees there's a target up there, as well as an ally. He's got a lock on it. He's gonna launch a missile. We're gonna try following this missile in. Let me see if I can find out what dude that is. Is he gonna launch? It does not look like he's gonna launch. He launched. Okay. That was a kind of close launch. Also, you weren't really pulling any lead there. From your cockpit, it looks like you were actually pulling some lead. So, maybe that's fine. That missile's gonna have to pull real hard just to get up to him. So, I'm gonna try following it in here. Bam, just like that. Almost there. I'm gonna slow it down some. Just to see he's got a good radar lock. He's already dead. Comes up here. Where is this missile gonna go? You can see it's very fast right now. It's still gonna be able to pull really well. It's not pulling much right now. Will it hit? And it passes by. I don't know why it passed by there. That was a missile problem right there. He was already dead, but it just whizzed on by. Back to the cockpit. He does not have any RWR on him right now, so now he's safe. Now he's fine. But what that could actually mean... See, he's not safe. He's not fine. It's his underbelly. He doesn't have an RWR on his underbelly. So, this guy's still tracking him. Is anyone else? Nope. Just that one guy. Let's see. Oh, this camera's doing something weird. Right there, we got another track. I think it's the same dude. He's up high right now. He is slow, as you can see. Would be very bad. Let's see. He's got 2 targets locking onto him right now. That is not good. You do not want that to happen. You can only tell that 1 is locking onto him right now. So you gotta be careful of that. You're in a good angle to just run away, but you're not quite fast enough to run away. So we'll see if you can make it out of there, or if you just re-engage. I guess we should speed this back up. So bam. Hold on. Can't quite tell if those are after him. It's looking like they might be going after him right now. Go free cam again. Those are after him. So see, you get tracked, you get launched at. Gotta be careful of this. So actually, those guys were tracking that dead body now. Okay, that one lost search. Lost track, it looks like. Okay, what's he looking at? I'm gonna add that engagement down there. Got that track again. You've been tracked for this whole time now. It's been this whole time and you haven't ran away. People know you're there. They have been engaging you. You can hear that missile coming in, right? Here comes a missile. Where from? Right in front of you this time. Yep, that does seem to be proper. It's coming from that guy right down there. You were just way too hot. Look at all these targets. Way too hot. So let's see, how many people are on their enemy team right now? How many enemies over here? It's not like you could have known this. But you've been getting tracked this whole time. There's gonna be missiles going out on you. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 6. You got like you basically got their entire enemy team over here. That's crazy. So what's gonna happen? He's gonna get hit in the face by this hit. Right due to that guy. You gotta listen to that RWR. He's gonna save you a lot. I'm gonna go back into here. Back in the first person. We're gonna see this happen a lot. He's gonna get tracked on his RWR. He's not going to listen to it. He's going to die. He's being tracked right now. Guess what's happening? Being tracked by 2 targets right now. They're about 25 kilometers away. So not always a track is going to mean that they're launching at you. But since you cannot tell if they are launching at you or not, you gotta be aware of that. You gotta assume that they're gonna be launching on you. So if it's radar, there's still multi-pathing in this game. You can still fly low. So if you're being tracked, just go low. If you don't feel like they've launched at you, it'll give you at least better chances of surviving. So right there, a second ago, you could also see that you had both those quadrants lit up. Also, right here, AIM-7F already launched. So what I was saying 1 second ago before, you had both those targets right in front of you. Both those quadrants were lit up. So you could see what I talked about earlier, where when both of those are lit up, it could mean that there's 1 target in front of you. Not always, but could. You got 2 AIM-7Fs on him now. They're gonna be coming in really fast. That one actually looks like it's going somewhere else. That one, maybe not, could be going up there. But that M7 is coming right for you. Alright, so you got a pretty good lock. But that target is really low to the ground, so we're probably going to be seeing the multi-pathing effect take place here against that target. So we're going to try following this missile here. Now this missile, yep, exactly. So he's coming in right here. The missile is going to think that, first off, got that multi-pathing, so his box is going to be down here, not up here. So the missile thinks this is the enemy, this is his flight path. Or like he's turning in, so this is his flight path. So it's going to go into the ground. So when an enemy is this low in altitude, like, this is definitely well below the multi-pathing area. When there's an enemy this low, just don't launch a radar missile. Your best bet, if you are going to launch a missile, is just go with your R60s, your all-aspect missiles. Zoom, there they go. You still got that one track from that front side. At this point, if you notice that RWR, you'd be dead, because here comes the missile. Boom. There's your back elevator. It doesn't look like he can pull it left anymore, so he crashes. He was lit up that whole time during that whole engagement. Lit up that whole time and did not obey his RWR, so he died. Next. This time, we have yet another RWR caused death. This time, I love it. He sees the target off on the side over here. So instead of going straight down the runway, he just goes off the runway. Honestly, I do that all the time too. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. One problem that the Mig-23 has is that it seems to struggle a lot with sustaining a lock. Could be due to its search radar. Could be due to the track MTI. But it does seem to lose its lock quite a bit. Alright, so one thing to note about this target right here, it's going rather slowly. So it's most likely going to be an AI target. It doesn't have a very long lead there, so that one's dead. So what you can do, if you see a target die, just look at the battle chat. So yeah, if you ever see a target and you want to know if it's a player or an AI, look at its speed. Chances are that if it's a slower aircraft, it's probably going to be an AI. Most people are going to be flying Mach-capable jets, just zooming through the battlefield. Right here. This looks like it's a player because of its speed, and as you can see, the sensor view confirms this. F4J is going to be... maybe not. So it could be... maybe so. Maybe this on the side is just a little bit inaccurate. We got that track. Being tracked right now. See, he brought it right up into his nose. I think he's only being tracked by that one guy right now. But here you go again. You got that quartered RWR. If you pull into it more, bring them into the center, see how it overlaps there? That's how you know they're in the center there. If you get that overlapping, then if you were to pull more right, if you were to pull more right and he only goes into that right spot, then you know you're only being tracked by one target. But if you had left and right targets, both of those would stay lit up no matter which side you pulled towards. So he saw a target, Mirage F1C. His RWR goes off there because his belly is showing to the enemy. His belly is showing, but he's still being tracked. F4S, and now he's got a missile on him from 12 kilometers out. That is a deadly missile. That's gonna come in pretty dang fast. Luckily for him, though, it's only searching. F4S didn't get a proper track on that, or maybe that wasn't this missile. Don't know. Back in the first person view, still dogfighting around. Getting around pretty well. Pretty common T-circle. Okay. He's really slow. I would not get this slow in the Mig-23. Okay, back in the first person. Now you can start to see. Hold on, let's go first. Let's go free camera. Now, if we were to look over at this F4 over here, you can see he's a little bit more in front now, not underneath the belly. And there's that missile. You can see it right there. There's a missile coming in real close. Real close. That was launched at like 7 kilometers away. That's even worse than an 11-kilometer missile. So that thing's gonna come in real fast. Sorry, Mach 2. Coming real fast, real fast, real fast, and dead. So, another case of obey the RWR. Listen to it, it'll help you out so much. Okay, back in the second. This one, this death, happened for another reason. I'm just letting him take off here. Got a target locked. I think on this life, he was locking a lot of his own friendlies. Could have been the next life, but there was one point in this replay where his radar does have IFF, but he actually launched a missile at a friendly. We'll see that in a little bit. So even though you have IFF, you still have to be careful with who you're tracking. You have to look at the airframe that you are engaging with, if they are within visual range. Pick up that speed. This Mig-23 wing rips somewhere around 1450 kilometers an hour, 1450. So we'll see. No RWR right now. He's perfectly safe. He's fine. Nothing to worry about right now. Sees a target. It's most likely going to be an AI because it's flying slower, and as we can see, sensor view confirms that. Some Canberras. Alright, bringing over here. We got friendly and an enemy. Friendly and enemy. You can see it right there. Either one of those guys could be an enemy. But it's looking like this is more of an F4, and that's looking a little bit more like an SU of some sort. Like an SU-25, SU-39, something like that. That dude looks like a much more fun target to go after. Like, you'll get a kill a lot better. That is looking a lot like an SU-25, so in that dogfight, you could see that there's 2 targets. The radar selected this guy. As we can see, it's an SU-39. He's flying really low. Luckily, he's flying really low, so multipathing is going to take him into effect. Bam, right there. That blue tint over the wing. That is a really good indicator of an SU-39. Both those missiles hit the ground. SU-39's safe. And this the tiny guy won't get a team kill, which is very good. So he's very lucky here. probably sees that, oh no, that was an Su-39, and disengages. Still no RWR. He's looking nice and safe here. We're going to speed this up just a little bit. Bam. Right there, he's starting to get a track. He is running away actively right now, which is good. But what he's going to do, which is going to be a big mistake, is he's going to start pulling into it. And also up in the front there, for a second, you could see over there, you could see that there was an F4. Alright, it doesn't look like it's being locked anymore. See the target, it looks like an F4, starts chasing it. So that previous track there, I guess he got safe, didn't keep getting tracked. His radar got chapped off. Watching this speed up here, look at this speed. Missile goes off. I'm gonna follow this missile, because it looks like it was a radar missile. I'm gonna see what happens with this missile here. I believe it's just gonna get chaffed off. Yep, there it goes. Okay. Shaft right there. You lose the lock. Again, watching that speed, you're getting really fast, really dangerous here. Sometimes, you know, even I do it. I forget about speed. Pulling in, going really low now. You're like you're 100 meters off the ground. Trying to launch some R60s, I believe. Yeah, I think he launched all of his R60s pretty much at the same time. This dude knows you're behind him. You gotta conserve those until you're at least a little bit closer. Those things can pull 30 Gs. They can kill targets pretty close range. Watching that speed, it's getting really high there. And wing rip's gonna happen really soon. Yep, there goes his right wing. So, it happens to me sometimes. You're gonna forget about your speed because you're just so engaged with that dogfight. So, you know what happens, it sucks. Live and learn. But back into the 5th life here. Gonna take off. Mig-23 seems to take a hot second to actually take off. Had a target, but not quite. Lost the target. Gonna try and find a new one. One thing that I really love about the MiG-23's HUD here is that the radar matches onto the HUD. You can see each of those targets. It's really cool. Then you can see it swiping left to right. But like, look at that. All those targets. All the out there. That's something that's really cool about the MiG-23's HUD. He sees a target. It's flying really slow. Really slow. So it's probably an AI or it's dead. And it was dead. Alright. Looking for another target. Can't quite find. He sees something in front of him, but it looks like it's an ally. He sees something to the left. He's being tracked. How much you want to guess there's a missile already at him? Alright. Sometimes that view doesn't help. Let's see. Aim 7F already on him. That was like 2 seconds into the track. So back into here. He does not see this. He does not see this missile coming at him at all. But it's gonna come in. It's gonna come in really fast. He's chaffing. That chaff's not gonna help you out at all. Because you're going right into their radar. So here comes that missile, here comes that missile. It's coming in really fast and dead. You didn't obey your RWR, you die again that time. You chaffed, you wanted to get away from that missile. It's somewhere in there you were thinking, that's probably a missile coming after me. But you didn't turn away to run away from that missile, you kept hot, you kept engaged the whole time. Which led you to die yet again. Alright, and then this is the last spawn for him. It's not been a good match. He's died every single time. Hasn't gotten a single kill every single spawn. It's not been a good match for him. So we'll see if he can get in one more kill. Hopefully he'll get one more. Hopefully he'll get just one kill at least. Make it something. Sees a target, it's an F4, take off tacking again. Look at this head. It's so cool. Gotta love the Mig-23's head. Slowing it back down again. Looking like he's seeing some targets right out in the front here. Got a Mig-23 right in front of you. Friendly, gotta be careful of that. Sees a target right there. Looks to be a Mirage. We're gonna check. Yep, it's the Mirage F1C. He's launched an R24R. We're gonna follow this one as well, see what happens to it. I'm gonna slow this down as well. I'm gonna slow this down even more. Speed up maybe a little bit. Speed up a little bit more. Speed up even more. So this dude right here, he is well above the multipathing area. I don't know exactly how much these pull, but I believe they pull something like 25 Gs. So they should be able to pull hard enough to bring it up there. But this missile just kind of goes wherever. What I think happens, since it's on IOG, that's an inertial navigation, it's going to wherever it last thought the target was. So somewhere along the lines, it lost track on the target, and it just kind of went wherever. And as you can see with this profile right here, you don't really have the best angle on this target. So, although I don't think he chaffed, I don't see any countermeasures popped off there. It might have just notched due to this being track and not track MTI. It doesn't make much sense. I don't know exactly what the missile did here. It was very weird. But here we go. Coming in now. Mirage launch something. He shot his guns. I think that was a misclick there. He was nowhere close to this target. So I think that was just a misclick there. Looks around at the target. Target's right there. Still got his radar on it. Now it's switched over to MTI. MTI is similar to a pulse Doppler mode, so it helps a lot with look down capabilities, or like looking down at the ground. And right there. So something very funny about the Mig-23's radar, it kind of just likes to swap targets. So now you've got the radar going on to your friendly here, and so he thinks, oh, this is a friendly, but then he sees, wait, that's a Mig-23. What is happening? What is my radar doing? So he loses the Mirage, and he just tries to find a different target. The Mirage isn't gonna come and kill him. You could probably check from here. Mirage died. Could be another Mirage. Who knows? He didn't really see it. Lost the target. That's always got to be stressful when you lose the target. So back into the fray here. You're being pinged on your RWR by a Vigan over here. You don't know what pinging you. But getting a Vigan to ping you is always terrifying. They've got track while scan. They don't have to track you to know if you're an enemy, if you're an ally, where you're going, the general speed where you're going as well. It's always terrifying being tracked by a Vigan. Got some targets up here. These guys look like they're base bombers. As you can see, these bases have not been getting any better. Alright, no RWR. You're fine here. See a friendly there. He pulls off a bit. We will see if he can find one target to kill. Right over here, if you look at the map, that's been captured by an enemy. At least one enemy. Could be those AI, but I don't know if AI can actually capture those. Being tracked. And guess what? How much you want to bet there's a... Yep, immediately. Immediately. A radar missile right on you. You ignore the RWR, you're still being tracked. That one went off searching, that one's still tracking, and it lost track. It looks like that F4J got engaged with that Mig-23, so he just lost the track on you. Got the F4 locked. Ooh, lost it. He's notching. So we'll see. You're really engaged right here. Right now, I can hear a target coming in, but that's just because your canopy is open. You probably couldn't hear it. You're really engaged with what's happening in front of you. Right there behind you, though. Let's see, what target is that? That's a Mirage right there. So you don't know that the Mirage is coming up on you. That's a different Mirage from earlier. You see that F4? Probably, maybe could have gotten our 60 on it. But, you know, it's whatever. Things happen. That Mirage is still there. Mirage is still coming in. Fires a missile, and you get hit from behind. You couldn't tell he was there. He was there. He was going completely silent. No radar pings, nothing. I could hear him. I could hear him pretty well, but that could have been the canopy bugged out. It looked like the canopy was bugged out. So, there we go. Sadly, 6 deaths. 600 points just from the deaths. And that's when he leaves the match completely defeated. So, main points here. Number 1, the most obvious thing that was ruining that run for you was just obeying your RWR. You had tons of times there where you were being tracked by 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3 targets. They were tracking you. That was a hard, solid track. You don't have launch detection, so when it's a hard, solid track like that, and not just a ping, it's best to assume that it's going to be a missile coming after you. It's better to assume that you're going to die, so therefore you should defend, rather than just ignorance is bliss, because then that way you're going to die. Sometimes you don't want to play as passively. Maybe you don't care that you're going to die because you have like premium account, so if you lose SL it doesn't matter. But for most players, you're going to want to play a little bit more defensively with the Mig-23, especially when you're going to get that track, and especially when you don't have a whole ton of awareness in the battle. So, that was our first main point. Second, make sure you're not firing those missiles where they're going to be multi-pathed. And especially if you see those flares, if you know that that person knows you're there, try not to fire R60s, because they're probably just going to flare it off. And third, watch that speed. Watch that speed. Happens to all of us, but watch that speed. All right. Well, that was a fantastic replay from the tiny guy. And that is all. Goodbye.